Welcome to Christian Statesman. I'm your host, Zach Wagner, and this is episode 62. The Second Amendment assault continues. One of the hallmarks of the new administration, with Democrats holding theoretical influence over both the executive and legislative branches of government, is that almost every piece of legislation coming out of our House of Representatives has some element of unconstitutionality to it. There are a number of bills, many of which were drafted over a year ago, aimed at curtailing Second Amendment rights. This goes beyond H.R. 127, as there are now numerous proposals restricting ownership, classification, and transfer rights in the works. What the radical powers that control the Democrat Party must come to realize, and perhaps they do not care, is that this sort of nonsense will not play well with and inevitably divide the general public. It is painfully ironic that in the last 5 months, ever since the results of an obviously compromised election, that new gun sales in America have hit record highs nearly every month. Many of these buyers are first-time gun owners, and many of them are liberal Democrats that had never considered gun ownership previously. As the House passes draconian gun restrictions, they are targeting a demographic that is increasingly comprised of their own base. Not a wise strategy. We have discussed in the past how the political and philosophical origins of gun control in America are not primarily an American agenda. The pressure begins with the United Nations, a body of individuals and nations represented by numerous countries that hate America and would love nothing more than to see America disarmed and vulnerable. If you think this is alarmist thinking, ask yourself how many criminal elements coexist in your region, such as cartel gangs, that are heavily armed with weapons supplied by adversaries such as the Chinese and our own deep state through efforts such as Operation Fast and Furious. Why no concerted effort to remove their threats from our society? Gun control ultimately only affects law-abiding gun owners, restricting their rights to defend themselves. Criminal elements do not pay any attention to gun laws. The citizenry is beginning to awaken to such hypocrisies, and the historic sales of guns and ammunition reflect this wake-up call. So why would a Democrat-controlled Congress continue to push measure after measure that will not only alienate the conservative gun-owning base, but an increasing number of their own supporters as well? The answer is simple. They now answer to a foreign international agenda, and not we the people. There are interesting reactions to this. Several states are taking matters into their own hands. A number of states, and even some local counties, are declaring themselves Second Amendment sanctuary locales. They are drafting legislation that no local law enforcement will participate in illegal and unconstitutional gun searches and seizures. They will not enforce any red flag laws, so-called, which remove any semblance of due process. Under such laws, gun rights can be removed just by the hearsay of a family member or neighbor. Many gun-owning divorcees would quake under such malevolent power given to one who may be adversarial to them for completely unrelated reasons. Oklahoma's House just passed a bill allowing them to reject any unconstitutional law or mandate from Washington. The states are heating up. We have to entertain the overarching theory that the Democrats want to create division and chaos for the purposes of increasing power. If you want to divide America, try taking our guns away. You will spark civil disobedience under the best-case scenario. Worse, you could incent civil conflict, even a widespread civil war. You would have states like Texas seriously considering secession. You would have other conservative states such as Tennessee, Nebraska, Arizona, Wyoming, Utah, and Idaho creating independent stances against any such measures and becoming a law unto themselves. It is also concerning that no leadership, Democrat or Republican, is emphasizing and pushing back on the lack of constitutional basis for what we are seeing. Many pundits have declared that we do not have a two-party system, but a monoparty with varying branches. It would be easy to make this argument with the current legislative behavior. Again, the Second Amendment outlines a natural or God-given right. We must ask over and over, why are our supposed representatives determined to change that right into a privilege that they have ultimate control over? If Congress knew it was good for them and for us, they would leave the guns alone. We already have untold numbers of gun laws that are not consistently enforced already on the books. What good are a whole new slate of laws going to benefit anyone? But the attempts continue one after another. The discerning voter should take note and be concerned with what they are seeing. Thank you for joining us today. Please subscribe, tell your friends, and have a blessed day.